my crash damaged 2015 Subaru STI. I took this car in from a friend of mine to do a rebuild series on, as at first glance it didn't really look too bad, but as we kept digging in and exposing more, we just kept finding more and more hidden damage. Broken control arm, bent subframe, bent strut tower, tweaked chassis, you name it, we probably found it on this car. But that didn't stop me from getting to work. I got the engine torn out, completely rebuilt, and that way I could focus my full attention on replacing all the structural components that were damaged and getting the car as straight as it was from the factory. Now unfortunately, I don't have a frame machine at the house, so I took it to a few local shops in hopes that they would be able to get it straightened out, but as it turns out, they couldn't. So I put out an SOS on my Instagram story and luckily got some recommendations for a shop called Finishworks Auto Body up in Virginia, and I dropped the car off there about a month ago. What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. It has been a hot minute since I've posted a video. I've taken a little bit of a breather from social media. Last week I actually went up to New York to spend some time with family for my birthday. I haven't been home in years, so it was good to get up there. But I just got back here. We got a call a couple weeks ago from Finishworks saying our white STI is done. They got the frame straightened out, they got all the body work done, they got a new windshield on the car, so we should be good to go. And that's where I'm gonna head up to this morning. So I got the trailer loaded, and let's go to Virginia and check this freaking thing out. We made it. Well, here it is. And this is Reed. This is the magician that was finally able to get this thing sorted. And I'm gonna let him explain kind of what was going on with it.
All right, so the main issue on this thing was this strut tower on this side was kicked back a little bit and in quite a lot, actually. I think we measured it at like a little over 20 millimeters. The radiator support was a little off up here. The rails were a little bit kicked over this way. For the most part, you know, that was the big area.
Yeah, so I mean, that's almost an inch. And mind you, this car went to 2 different frame shops near me, twice to each shop, and they both said it was good to go. And obviously when I went to mount everything up, I was like, yeah, it's not good to go. So
yeah, it was, like I said, it was pretty off. We pulled the measurements for it, just cross measuring it, you could see that it was off, especially going from like the bolt to bolt measurements that our system had for us. It was clearly very off. And then like you said, when you put the fender on, you could see it wasn't anywhere near where it should be.
Yeah, so now this lines up a lot better. And then we got a new windshield as well. Everything is paint matched with the rest of the car. This fender must have been repainted at some point in time or replaced, because this didn't match the front door, so that got paint matched, and everything else is good to go. We can finally get this back together. So
bumper, both fenders, blended both doors, hoods, so yeah, so all should be fresh, blended, matched, all that good stuff.
Amazing. This is up at Finishworks up in, now here's the big thing.
Okay.
Is it Norfolk or Norfolk? I know the locals pronounce it a little differently.
Norfolk.
Norfolk.
Yeah.
Yeah, Norfolk. Okay, that's what I thought.
That's how you say it.
I always get corrected.
Yeah.
Yeah, huge help. Thank you so much, man.
Hey, not a problem at all, anytime.
Well, I just got back home, got the car unloaded from the trailer, got the trailer backed in. I gotta load all my storage stuff back in the trailer and then get that parked in its spot. But kind of got a bit of a predicament. We got that car, the Evo, customer car, the truck, the trailer, my hatch. We got the blue Hawkeye sitting over there, and then another VA build on the way. So needless to say, I'm once again out of driveway space, and it's the time of season where the 2 trees in front of my house like to make a mess all over the cars. So I gotta figure this out. And here we have it. The white car is back home and in the shop. First thing I want to get to is lining up this fender. I believe they just bolted it up here to paint it, so it's not actually lined up. Gaps are all over the place. So let's go ahead and loosen this up, get it fitting perfect, make sure it lines up with the hood lines up with the other fender, and all of our gaps look straight. Been working at this for about the past hour, maybe 2, just trying to get all these gaps perfect. So here is the driver's side. Door gap is pretty good all the way up to the pillar, and then same thing where the hood meets the fender, not bad. I got that pretty dialed all the way down. So happy with this side. This is the side that obviously got hit. I've been spending a lot of time just trying to get this right, and once again, pretty happy with it all the way up. The only spot I'm still trying to work is this corner right here. You can see it's kind of big here and it tightens up. So just trying to work that out And keep in mind, this is an aftermarket fender. It's not an OEM. It's one of those like Kappa certified ones. So it might just be the fender, but I think I can get that worked out. But as far as like to the pillar goes, it's good. And all the way down the door is pretty dang spot on. So now that that's worked out, I'm gonna go ahead, clean up the car. It's obviously really dusty because it came from a body shop. But once we get that cleaned up, we get the door handles on, get the mirrors back on, door trim, get all that put back together, and then we'll start building this up piece by piece. Thanks to our friends at Giraffe Tools, we got the interior all cleaned back out, got the mirror back up there, and everything's put back together. Door panels are on, mirrors are on, door handles are on, trim is on, and we are good to go there. I do have to find what I did with these little pieces because, yeah, I don't know. They're not in the shop. But remember, if you guys want to add a vacuum or a pressure washer or any of Giraffe Tools goodies to your wall, use code PANZER at checkout, giraffetools.com. You'll save 10%. And I can tell you that vacuum alone has come in handy more than probably any tool in the shop. So it's probably one of my favorite additions I've ever made to this garage. And it will be coming to the Dream Shop with me whenever we get that built. So head over there, get yourself some goodies. This is my first time seeing a side skirt on the passenger side of this car. And for coming off a completely different car, it doesn't match too bad. This color, Crystal White Pearl, is a really hard color to match because of the pearl in it, but not bad. And then this side over here is actually the original side skirt that came off the car. And she does have like these little side skirt extensions, which I'm not sure if I'll just take this off or just order 2 new ones. We'll just replace both of them. Back on the car for day 2, what I want to do tonight is try to get we'll get our power steering reservoir mocked back up, and then we can get our ABS module bolted in as well. Now, looking at this, it's kind of angled in towards the bay, so we'll probably have to just bend this back a little bit, and then the bottom leg of the mount for it sits on there, and then I think we bolt in there as well. Let's try to get that thing slapped in, and then all these brake lines can get plumbed back into the module, and that'll clean up the bay quite a bit. This harness kind of got chewed into a little bit, as you can see in there, and I believe there are some wires that kind of got shredded, so we got to go do some repairs. This harness goes all the way into the dash, so if we can repair what might have got chewed into, that's going to save us a lot of time there. The original bracket for the ABS module was pretty bent up in the crash, so I'm going to go ahead and replace that while we're here. Well, my idea was to pull this off the old grill and reuse it, but as you can see, didn't really fare too well coming off, so just gonna sign this one and give it away, and we'll get a brand new one for the new grill. Next up, I want to get the AC condenser out. You can see this one got a little bit knocked right there, and then the mount's a little bent down at the bottom, and I don't know if it leaks or not, but since it's, you know, pretty much out already, just gonna go ahead and replace it. I did have the pressure relieved from the AC system, so I believe. So hopefully when we take these bolts out, we can pop these out and they don't explode everywhere. So the bottom one is the one that just came off the car. The top one is the other one I have. And you can see this one is pretty curvy. This one's a lot more straight. However, this one does actually have a little bit of a bump up on top as well. I think something might have fell on it or it got a little damage in shipping. But it's better than this one. This one got pretty yanked. So, and also this leg is bent up, which I'm sure we can bend down or run it, but these ones are good to go. So I'm just gonna clean this one up, slap it on, and hopefully, hope for the best, no leaks. Might as well get the power steering lines knocked out while we're here as well. Coming down to the passenger side of this car, we're actually able to salvage this horn, but what I don't have is what mounts here, and this is the DRL module. I don't know what happened to it. I'm assuming it was still on this piece, and maybe the body shop, one of the first body shops I brought it to, cut this off and threw it away. I don't know, but I can't find that, so ordered up a new one on eBay for like 20 bucks. We'll get that on when it gets here, but we'll tighten this horn up, and then other than that, I have some fixing to do in the wiring harness, and then just cleaning up the bay and getting this thing ready for an engine. When the car was involved in the wreck, and the coilover broke, the control arm snapped, the wheel was shoved way up into the wheel well, which in turn shredded some of the wires in the wire harness. So now it's important that I pull back all of the existing loom and fix any wire that needs repair. I stripped back the insulation on the broken wires, added some shrink tubing, and then hit it with some solder. For my first time soldering with a little Amazon soldering iron, or whatever you want to call that thing, not too bad, but I did learn a bit of a lesson with the shrink wrap. Looks like it got a little bit too close to the iron, and it actually started to shrink there, so probably have to redo this one, but the other two, just slide this guy down and use a heat gun and shrink wrap it. All right, so everything on this harness going to the ABS module is fixed. So everything that was torn or there was just visible wires broken, I went ahead, clipped, and resoldered, and then heat shrunk those. And then everything that just had like a tear in the insulation but didn't go through any of the wire, it was just a little sus, I hit with just a little bit of electrical tape just to protect it. You can see like some of these just have a little bit of electrical tape. This one's heat shrunk. Yeah, there was just a few that just barely got nicked, and we were able to just save that with some electrical tape. But everything else is repaired. Now I'm gonna go ahead and do this little harness, which goes to an airbag sensor, and this guy, which I believe is a keyless entry, like buzzer thingamabobber. I gotta order a connector and the actual buzzer itself. But this one's important. We want to make sure none of these wires, especially going to the airbag sensor, are nicked, because last thing we want is an airbag going off unexpectedly. So I'm gonna pull this entire loom off, and we'll hit that, and then we can re-loom this entire thing up, and it'll be good to go. Okay, a little while later, we got new loom going all the way up from the airbag sensor. This, once the new connector comes in for that keyless entry buzzer, we'll get that connected and then loom this up as well. But this goes up right to this joint, and then we got this little guy. We got all the way loomed to the ABS connector, and then this ground, which is, I believe, going straight to the chassis. And then all I have left is to loom from here to the joint. I went ahead with electrical tape, just got everything nice and tidy, as I did with the rest of this. So yeah, my idea is obviously to make this better than it was from factory. It's definitely a lot cleaner than it was, and yeah, pretty happy with it. So I'm gonna get one last piece of loom on there, and then we can run this thing through the bay. And a few minutes later, I think we got all the wiring sorted. So comes in right here. This is where your main split is. I'm not sure what this connector is. When I look it up on the diagram in the service manual, it's some sort of like a hood switch, which I don't think this model car had. So I talked to Tanner, aka Smedia. He has the same year car, and it's literally just zip tied off, and the connector's plugged. There's no wires going into it. So that one sits there. You have this going into your ABS module, and then this ground comes and goes right to the chassis there. And then your airbag sensor is gonna run up to the front. The keyless entry sensor, which are what these wires are gonna be, that's gonna sit right there. And then we'll get these wired up when I get that connector in. And then the airbag module comes up, comes right through that little groove in the frame there, which I'm gonna protect a little bit more. There is like a little plastic arch from factory that kind of, bridges it over here, but I don't think I have that, so we're just gonna protect that so it doesn't wear through. But then your airbag sensor will mount right there on the radiator support. And then as far as the bottom harness goes, you have this wire that comes out. This is gonna go to the DRL module. That'll bolt in right there. And then your horn, I think that's your high pitch horn. It's plugged there, and this one goes to your fog light area on the front bumper. Car's back on the ground, and I've gone ahead and just kind of cleaned up a lot of the dust out of the bay. And I've also gone ahead, cleaned off our input shaft, got these splines cleaned out, got our surface where the throwout bearing's gonna sit, that's all clean. And then I also went ahead over here, brought out the new clutch. So this is just an Exetti OEM replacement. We got the pressure plate, the clutch disc under all that stuff, and then the flywheel is in that box. So went ahead, cleaned this guy up, throwout bearings brand new, and then cleaned up our clutch fork as well. So just gonna apply some grease in the necessary areas and get everything assembled and ready to go, so that way tomorrow we can come out, get the engine cleaned up, get the flywheel on. We still got to get motor mounts on the bottom, but once all that's together, this can finally go back in the car.
I'm on my own, broken alone. I feel the rain crashing down all around this empty town. I'm searching for the lost and found, but you don't care, you're unaware. Keep moving like the scars aren't even there. It's in the air like a blazing flare. Just stare 'cause the flames will burn us.
Well, it's the next morning. I got the engine sitting here for the car. I actually had this built probably the past, 4 or 5 months, maybe more. Just been sitting in the corner of the garage, so I got it cleaned up. And I have a new set of motor mounts from Subaru. We're gonna get these slapped on, and then we can get it off the stand, get the flywheel, clutch, everything assembled onto the back of it, and then we can get this thing dropped in the car. So let's stop talking, just get to work.
That's why I gave you everything. Held you close by the stormy seas. Oh, you meant the
I noticed when installing the Company 23 little flywheel locker tool that some of my threads were pretty gunked up. So I took a tap, went ahead, cleaned out all the threads in the bell, or where the bell housing is going to mount up. And then I also cleaned up all of the threads on the bolts. So these should thread on nice. Now we can go ahead, I'm going to clean that flywheel surface one more time, and then we can get the clutch and the pressure plate on. We'll be good to go.
The atmosphere charting the stratosphere. I prayed for you and kept you near in hopes you'd chase away my fears. I'm on my own, you made it so, and now I'm chasing nightmares. I used to run with you through the great big things, laugh at you when you laugh at me.
Engine is in the car, got the starter in as well. Clutch is engaged, however, because we had all the brake lines disconnected, there is no pressure to that because there's probably air in the lines. So we'll have to bleed the clutch when we go and bleed all the brakes, but that's no big deal. Now we just got to get every little thing hooked up. We got the pitch stop mount, we got, everything. AC compressor, we got to get in. Power steering pump, I believe, is laying on the ground way over there. So we got to get that back in here and then just button this thing up. So I'm just going to get to town and see how far we can get tonight. You guys remember, the whole reason we got this car was because my friend Cheel was involved in an accident and we built her a new car, and the new car had a really bad smoking issue. So we swapped engines, gave her all the good parts from this car, and I took essentially all the bad parts. So this is a new downpipe. Follower sent this over a long time ago now, and we're gonna be using this so we don't have to deal with all the smoke from all the oil burning off. Now, this is also the engine from that really smoky car that's been completely rebuilt, new turbo, new every exhaust system pipe, the manifold, the up pipe, the turbo, all that's been replaced, head's been gone through. As far as we know, this thing is good to go. So, new downpipe, new exhaust. Let's get that thing slapped on, and I actually don't have an exhaust for the car yet, so I need to get one of those, but we do have a downpipe. Well, just kidding. I guess I don't have any of the front gaskets left, the ones that go between downpipe and turbo. I guess I ran out. I do have the rears, but there's really no sense bolting that up if I can't, get a gasket in there. So I think instead, let's do radiator. The existing radiator that was in the car had some broken tabs on it. So I have a new radiator. We just need to transfer the cooling fans over so we have one complete unit. Really, if I had oil here, I'd be able to start the car tonight, but I don't have any oil for this thing. Now, just for fun, I'm gonna throw the front bumper on here, just so we can see what it looks like. Well, I am missing a few parts to get this bumper actually permanently attached to the car. As you can see, definitely missing a few things. It's kind of just chilling up here on top. But once I have everything, this should squeeze up and fit really nicely. Yeah, we need headlights. I do have that headlight still, but I need to get a passenger side headlight. But I just wanted to set the bumper on, see how it looked. This is obviously my first time seeing it with the full front end kind of put together. So pretty cool to see the paint match, the gaps line up, pretty freaking good. Little bit of adjustment needed on the hood, like I was saying. Got to figure that out. I'm going to talk to Reed from Finishworks and see what he kind of recommends. But I'm going to get it rolled out, see how it looks out in the sun, and we'll get some cinematics for you guys. That's gonna wrap this one up. I hope you guys enjoyed. We made a ton of progress on the white VA. Again, huge shout out to Finishworks up in Norfolk, Virginia. They ultimately saved us on that car because there was a lot of stuff that I wasn't able to do here, and apparently the local shops with a frame machine couldn't get it either. So big shout out to you, Reed, and the team up there at Finishworks. Now, I do plan to be on a more consistent schedule of posting. I know I haven't posted in a little while, but after this next week, I do want to get back onto like a weekly basis. So look forward to that. We got a lot of cars lined up. The Evo's almost done. We got a couple customer cars to work on. And yeah, we should be lined up. So I'll catch you guys in the next one. Till then, peace out. See y'all later.